criminal cases and civil cases that were released, Donald, they have your name all over it. On the depositions, I see your name of victims that Epstein trafficked, saying that Epstein said he was on the phone with you and they landed in.
So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Cash is also, now that we have Cash here, it's a game changer, of course.
Atlantic City to stop at one of your casinos in the criminal case involving Ghislaine Maxwell, one of Epstein's traffickers.
This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment about the Epstein files release. You know something's fishy. Even Trump's own party members are calling out this cover-up. Why is Trump sweating bullets over these Epstein files? We've mapped out what we call the Trump-Epstein cycle that shows exactly how these two were connected and why Trump's so desperate to bury this story. The pattern we uncovered will make your jaw drop. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. What if I told you there's a repeating pattern in how Trump handles his Epstein connections that's as predictable as his morning Twitter tantrums? I'm not talking about coincidences here, folks. I'm talking about a well-oiled machine of denial, deflection, and distraction that our former president has perfected over decades. Let's call it the Trump-Epstein Cycle, a three-step dance that old Donnie performs whenever his buddy Jeffrey's name comes up. Let's break down this cycle, shall we?
To you by Epstein, a 14-year-old girl. Donald, we also know your statements as well. We know that you've said that you would use your beauty pageants to inspect women naked without their consent.
Let me start with the Epstein case because there was an expectation that this was going to be bigger. You had the same expectation.
We all did. And the FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. And Cash is going to, Director Patel, is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Okay.
You know, with everything involving Donald Trump.
Phase 1, the friendship. Trump and Epstein weren't just casual acquaintances who bumped into each other at the occasional Mar-a-Lago buffet line. These two were thick as thieves for at least 15 years. In 2002, Trump couldn't shut up about how terrific his pal Jeffrey was, calling him a lot of fun to be with. But the real kicker? Trump made sure to mention that Epstein liked beautiful women just like he did, especially those on the younger side. Yikes. Not exactly the kind of endorsement you'd want on your LinkedIn profile. The visual evidence doesn't lie either. There's footage of these two party pals yucking it up together, with Trump pointing out women to Epstein and both of them laughing like schoolboys. Oh, it's like watching two creepy uncles at a wedding reception, except one became president and the other died in a prison cell. But wait, there's more. Trump's name shows up on Epstein's flight logs at least 7 times.
Speak to the Attorney General about that. I really don't know. I know that we've done the RFK. The Kennedy, Martin Luther King is out there very shortly, so we'll find out. People were saying, oh, maybe it wasn't all, it was all.
Yeah, Donald, the question was not about the other files out there, which, by the way, you didn't even release them. You just released files that were already released. We knew you were never going to release the Epstein files, but y'all continued with this farce. Remember when Pam Bondi said that the files were going to be released?
That's 7 trips on the infamous Lolita Express, Epstein's private jet that transported guests to his various properties, including his island where many of his crimes took place. 7 trips isn't just, I bumped into him at a party once. That's a frequent flyer relationship. Then comes phase 2, the distancing. As soon as Epstein's crimes became public knowledge and the heat turned up, Trump's tune changed faster than a DJ at a bad wedding. Suddenly, the terrific guy became someone Trump wasn't a fan of and hadn't spoken to in 15 years. Classic Trump move, and when things get hot, pretend you barely knew the person. It's like when your friend gets caught stealing and suddenly you're like, Dave who? Never heard of him. Except Dave isn't a convicted sex offender with connections to the world's elite. Trump's statements became so contradictory that you'd think he was talking about 2 different people. One minute, Epstein's a terrific fun guy who likes young women. The next minute, they're practically strangers. Trump's relationship with the truth is about as stable as a 3-legged chair at a sumo wrestler convention.
You partied with him in Palm Beach. You flew with him on his Lolita Express at least 7 times. You're on his flight logs. Where are the Epstein files, Donald? Oh, wait a minute. You were very close friends with Epstein. You said he was a great guy who likes women on the younger side.
But we've really announced we're doing them in full transparency. You know, when we did JFK.
Phase 3 is where things get really interesting. The active obstruction. When Epstein's case threatened to splash mud on powerful people, Trump's administration handled the document releases like they were radioactive waste. The most blatant example, that White House event where right-wing influencers were handed binders containing Epstein's call list, information that was already publicly available. Talk about a smokescreen. It's like inviting people over to reveal a secret recipe and then handing out store-bought cookie mix. This event wasn't about transparency, it was theater. A magic trick where Trump shows you what's in his right hand so you don't notice what the left is doing. Notice how only selected people got to see selected documents? Why not release everything to everyone? What's in those other documents that Orange Turd doesn't want us to see? The deposition transcripts are particularly damning. Victims stated that Epstein claimed to have been on the phone with Trump, and Trump's contact information appears throughout Epstein's call logs. Not once or twice, but throughout. This suggests regular communication between the two men, not the distant relationship Trump tried to sell us. So I have to ask, well, is this cycle random, or is it Trump's deliberate playbook for hiding uncomfortable truths? The pattern is just too perfect.
Mr. President, you said, when can we expect the Epstein documents to be released? The rest of them?
Which documents?
The Epstein files?
I don't know.
We've heard you talk about and brag about sexually assaulting women, grabbing them by their genitals without their consent.
But you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock.
Too rehearsed to be coincidence. First, be friends and party together. Second, when trouble comes, deny the depth of the relationship. Third, control what information gets out and to whom. It's calculated behavior designed to obscure Trump's true relationship with Epstein. The latest White House Epstein stunt perfectly caps off our cycle. Instead of real transparency, they handed out binders labeled Epstein files to right-wing influencers that contained, wait for it, just his already public call list. Talk about a nothing burger with extra disappointment sauce. Even Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna called out this charade, saying these documents are not what the American people asked for. When members of your own party are questioning your smoke and mirrors routine, you know something smells fishier than Mar-a-Lago's seafood buffet. This pattern of dangling fake transparency while hiding the truth speaks volumes. What exactly is Trump so desperate to keep hidden? The cycle continues.